Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, I'm going over my other commander deck right now, Wyleth Soul of Steel. This was my very first commander when I started playing earlier this year. So I have a soft spot for him right here and a soft spot for equipment and aura decks or Voltron decks. So Wyleth is a 2/2 human warrior that is a white, red, and 1 trample. Whenever Wyleth Soul of Steel attacks, draw a card for each aura and equipment attached to it. So with that being said, I'm going over the top 10 favorite cards of mine that are in this deck. So starting at number 10, put Wyleth right there. At number 10, Heavenly Blademaster. It's Angel, 6-drop, flying double strike, 1 white, 5 generic. When Heavenly Blademaster enters the battlefield, you may attach any number of aura and equipment you control to it. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 for each aura and equipment attached to Heavenly Blademaster. I find this a very great card for late game if you're still alive with the Voltron deck. You instantly attach any aura or equipment that you want to her. She gets really big, but she also pumps your other creatures. And she's a 3/6 with double strike. She's amazing. I won games because of her. Heavenly Blademaster is one of my favorite creatures for sure. But she's at number 10 for me in this deck right now. At number 9, a card from Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. Fighter class. This is just such a good little tutor. It's a 2-drop, it's white red. When fighter class enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Even if you only use that first level, I mean, just that in itself, a red white, so 2 mana tutor that you go find your best equipment is simply amazing. And then for white, red, and 1, equipped abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate. There are a lot in here that are around 2 to 3, and to make it less is just so much better. And then for 3 generic red whites for the level 3, whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks it. This is combat if able. That is just so nice. You can make people pretty much block with those creatures that they don't want to block with, and you get to just run it over there. Fighter class, even if you only use that first step of it, that first level, and even if you only get to that second level, it is such a good card. I think it should be a staple in Voltron decks that are in red-white. This is my number 9 favorite card in this deck. At number 8, Pure Steel Paladin. White for a human knight creature. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Card draw that is unlimited, that's not only once per turn, is so good. And since this deck is based around equipments, this is one of the best cards in this deck. And then Metal Crafty, second ability. Equipment you control have equipped 0 as long as you control 3 more artifacts. And this isn't even limited to only equipment. You can have Soul Ring out, you can have like Arcane Signet out. You can have, and then your equipment's even too. So like this is such a great thing to have because you can equip all your equipments for 0. So you instantly equip them for no cost and just make your creatures big. This is what you want to do with Blademaster, what you want to do with Wyleth. This is an underrated card, I feel like. It is at my number 8 favorite card to get in this deck. At number 7, another tutor, Open the Armory. Sorcery for 1 white and 1. For 1 and then 1 white. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. I feel like this deck in particular is built around getting the things that you need out quickly. Because if not, then you can fall behind pretty quickly in Voltron. And with this, you can go get what you need, exactly what you need, and just pull it out instantly. At number 6, right? Yeah, 6. Maul the Skyclaves. It auto-equips when it enters, and equipped creature gets +2/+2, has flying and first strike, and that is for 2 generic and 1 white. This is so good. It gives flying, it gives first strike, it gives +2/+2, and it equips as it enters battlefield. I love this card. It was one of the first equipments that I bought. When I first started to upgrade my deck, I just looked up stuff online. I found this one, and I was like, you know what? That seems pretty good. And it has won me games. It's put me ahead. and it just is so good. I really love this card. I love this art too, this full art hollow of it. I really enjoy this one, and it is number 6 in my deck for me. Number 5, Black Blade Reforged. It is 2 mana to cast a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. Equipped legendary creature for 3. So if you're equipping this to Wyleth, it's 3 to equip, and for every land you have out, it just makes Wyleth bigger. And Wyleth has trample. It is just so good. And there are other cards that are coming up on my list that go really, really well with this card, and you'll see right now. This is number 5 for me. Number 4, Sword of the Animist. Look at that. A 2-drop that equips for 2. Equipped a creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped a creature attacks, which you will a lot with Wyleth, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So now not only are you searching your library for a land, you're drawing cards off of Wyleth, and if you have multiple things equipped to Wyleth, you're drawing multiple cards, and you're ramping. I love this card. It is so good. I got it from the Commander deck, from the Voltron Commander deck that was in the AFR set. It's been such a good card for my deck. Number 3, I think should be in every Voltron deck, Commander's Plate. It is a 1-drop, equipped to your commander for 3, or equipped to anything else for 5. Equipped creature gets +3/+3, has protection from each color that's not in your commander's color identity. That means Wyleth, in this instance, would have protection from black, green, and blue. So black, green, and blue, 3 of the most popular colors to play, and you're automatically just protection from them. This is single-handedly won me so many games, but at the same time makes me a target so much. So something you probably have noticed so far is that I don't have any of the big swords in here. Sword of Hearth and Home, Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Light and Dark, or Darkness and something like that. I took out all those swords. I feel like when I played them and when I had them, it just made Wyleth such a target early to where I never got to play them, and I never had to play with Wyleth. So I've downscaled the power of this deck to play it more, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. People would see those swords and they would just instantly target Wyleth and want to get him out of the battlefield. So I kept this one in, but the swords have all been replaced with other stuff, sadly, but we'll go over that later on. At number 2 for me, Keeper of the Accord. This is so good. 3 generic and 1 white. A human soldier. This is a white staple. I think this should be in every deck that has white, if you need it. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more lands than you may search your library for a basic plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. My biggest problem in this deck is ramping. And with this and Sword of the Animist, I can ramp so well, and they combo with Black Blade Reforged, getting out the ramp, getting out little small blockers if I need them. Because that, I find, is the biggest problem in this deck for me. I don't run a lot of creatures in here. So if I can get out little just chump blockers, along with getting more lands out into play, this just helps me so much. I really, really like this card. When I picked it up, I didn't really know what it would do due to, at the time, me being such a new player to the game. But this has really changed the way that I play and the way that this deck runs. I really, really enjoy this card. One of my favorites. This is my number 2 card in this deck. And at number 1, of course, here she comes. Stoneforged Mystic. I picked it up randomly because I saw that it seemed pretty good. I got it for around $25, and since then it's shot back up. 1 generic, 1 white for a core artificer creature. When Stoneforged Mystic enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. And then for 1 in white, tap her. You put an equipment card from your hand onto the battlefield. So you can tutor an equipment, and then you can cheat an equipment out if it costs more than 2 mana to cast. This is just such a good card. I love that I got this card. It's a promo card too. It looks nice, a nice hollow. I got it cheap, and it is my favorite card to draw in this deck. You get something out, you get a creature, and you can cheat stuff out onto the battlefield. My favorite card in this deck, easily, is this one. Just going over them real quickly. So there's Wyleth, Stoneforged Mystic at 1, Keeper the Accord at 2, Commander's Plate at 3, Sword the Animus at 4, Blackblade Reforged at 5, at 6 is Maul the Skyclaves, 7 is Open the Armory, 8 is Pure Steel Paladin, 9 is Fighter Class, and 10 is Heavenly Blademaster. With that, thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like the video, drop a comment, subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Let me know what other equipments, auras, creatures you would add to this deck. I did have the swords in here at a point, so I probably won't add them back in. It made my deck too much of a target, people just knowing that I had the swords. So I took them out. But if you have any kind of more mid-level to lower level artifacts, equipments, creatures that would run well in here, please let me know. Drop it down in the comments, and I will make sure to look at those, look at the cards, and kind of judge, see if I want to add them to this deck. And with that, have a good day. I'm out.